Welcome back to Within Reason with Bob Kerrigan. I'm Bill Rankin, and we're going to start this last segment. We got some great stuff. But we're going to start this last segment with something that has been a passion of Bob's for years. I mean, Bob's very public-spirited. He's funded justice organizations, but this appears to me to be the one thing that just holds his interest better than anything else, and that's stop signs at Barcia 12th. We've talked about it for quite a while,
We have.
and quite frequently.
Yeah.
We've carefully tracked the response.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten any. But Bob has an update on Barcia at 12.
Because
last time you said that perhaps there was divine intervention that blew a tree down at Barcia and 12th.
I did.
In retribution for parking for stop signs.
I did say that, and I don't think anybody's ruled that out. I think
Can't disprove that.
They can't disprove
No.
that. And the tree went down.
It certainly did.
And look where it went down, right on that corrupt little corner.
Could have gone anywhere.
Okay, now.
That's proof.
By history, this was a stop sign placed at 12th and Garcia that stops about 12,000 cars a day for the benefit of about 200 that go back and forth across Barcia. All of us have to stop, and our fuel is consumed in these stop signs, and we wait and stop and wait and stop and wait and stop, and nobody crosses the street. That's typical.
That's
typical. Where I go home every day. I have to see that every day. Again, I refuse to go a different way because I keep thinking.
Well, going a different way wouldn't solve anything. You have to go way around.
It would be a little bit further for me, but I could do it. But I'm just concerned that
You just want to become annoyed. So that
well, all right, so what happened? So you have the four most powerful political people maybe in history on that corner because they were able to get a stop sign placed there.
Yeah.
And then when the investigator, Diane Mack, set out to conduct the investigation to determine precisely how such an absurd stop sign could be placed there.
she likes it. She liked it back when she was on the city council and said it calms the traffic.
Yeah, but you
never calms me. I get mad having to stop.
But do you know what happened after she conducted the investigation?
I don't know.
We had signs pop up, campaign signs for Diane Mack on that corner. Now, this political corner, one of the most powerful political corners in the entire city, is now at war.
Really?
They're in combat.
I didn't know that.
They're in open combat on
Different
that corner.
signs?
Different signs for the clerk.
Oh,
and
well, you can't have signs for Diane Mack. She's not running for
No. I'm saying one's for Mr.
Ernie
McGahey and one's for
Pam Childers.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah, I saw
there's
big signs.
Open warfare at the most political corner in town. They are not united, and there's going to be a
I think since the only issue they care about is traffic at that intersection, and since the clerk has absolutely nothing to do with that,
I think it suggests
that clerk signs.
I think it suggests that there's some powerful political people that live in the area on that corner. So you see this conflict on the corner, big signs, and there's a big fight going on. So just to bring you up to date, the tree comment, I could have been wrong about the tree comment. I'm not wrong about the warfare going on Barcia and 12th. And I can tell you this, they're not taking that stop sign down. Once you put up a stop sign,
no,
just
you can't take it down.
You can't take it down.
Anybody who votes for taking a stop sign down
oh, my goodness.
will be accused of child abuse if there's ever an accident.
So then, since they couldn't justify, I don't think child abuse, but anyway.
There's always a child involved. What about the children?
Well, that's true.
She got hurt and her child couldn't go to Bible camp. Yeah, if you can throw children in, it just makes it better. Yeah.
Well, the people that were responsible for placing it there, of course, don't have a real good excuse for it now because we've completely destroyed the whole underlying basis for the stop sign placement. So we are consuming all this gas, wasting all this time for what? Because after the fact, since there was no basis for it at all, Ms. Mack said, we want to calm the traffic.
Calming traffic.
We're going to calm the traffic. We're all going to be so calm up here. We're going to calm the traffic going by the Wisteria bar.
If you're so inclined, you can easily get up to 60 by the time you hit the Wisteria, unless you're turning in, But if you're just going up to 12th and Fairfield, you'd get a good head of steam up there. I don't think you'd be that. After waiting, nobody's going this way. You wouldn't necessarily be calm.
I'll tell you something you don't know.
That's a lot.
I'll tell you something you don't know. Do you know there's all kinds of studies that suggest where you have shade, people drive slower.
Oh.
So
that calms traffic.
That whole 12th Avenue corridor is all shaded.
If that theory is right, that's the calmest corridor in town. It's got all shade.
It's so calm. You can go into a steering, have a couple of beers, you come out, everybody's calm in, calm out, calm, 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 calm. Stop, it's Barcia. Makes no sense.
That didn't make a lot of sense.
It didn't make a lot of sense. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something else that doesn't make a lot of sense.
There's more.
There's more. All right, now, here's what we have. We have the community. This is the Community Maritime Park situation. The Community Maritime Park entered into a stadium lease, you know, for the baseball team. Okay, and they gave them this bargain basement lease that's a fraction, like 0.5% of the value of the whole structure, $300,000.
Well, they pay for pretty much all the power, don't they? Doesn't the lease pretty much cover the power bill? No. It doesn't?
No, the city pays power, maintenance, and insurance. That's about $750,000 a year, and they take in about $300,000. So they got a problem. They need to make more money. So the person they had given the lease to said, I've got a great idea. I'll lease the facility and get a portion of the money, and I'll give you some, because you need more money because you made a bad deal on the lease.
Right.
All right, now here's what's happened.
And how's the breakdown there? How much is going to the
I don't know the numbers. I heard it was 75% for the person making the leasing and 25% for the CMP, but I'm not sure about those numbers. Okay, so I haven't seen the document. That's what I heard. So here's a brochure that we just got. Now, when they built this thing, it was supposed to be a multi-use facility for soccer, football, and baseball.
Let's go all the way back. I mean, the first drawings I saw there was a museum.
Of course, yeah.
There was UWF was heavily involved, and it was retail and a promenade and all this stuff, and it included a baseball park, and now it's a baseball park.
Now it's a baseball park. So here's the brochure that's come out, and it's advertising in direct competition for all downtown businesses that the baseball park was supposed to stimulate downtown business. You have a point. You can make it in a minute when I finish. All right. Hold on. They're advertising for company picnics, family reunions, and other group outings, graduation parties, and wedding receptions, large televised events for sports or movies, for the sports bars, okay? Marathons, parades, and community events, which is really what it was supposed to be in the first place, this last one here. Plays, concerts, and other entertainment acts, which they could have done at the amphitheater.
Right, they have an amphitheater.
Yeah, they have an amphitheater. But here's the point. Now downtown businesses are in direct competition with a government-operated, a government-funded, and a no-risk capital endeavor. Yeah. And I think it's fundamentally wrong for downtown businesses.
You know, if the whole thing is a good idea, and I'm beginning to have my doubts. And I love the baseball team, and we really enjoy going to baseball games, but it's pretty bad for the city. What could you do down there that doesn't compete with something? I mean, we don't have a lot of competing baseball parks and a whole lot of AA teams in town, but you've got a limited entertainment dollar in this community, and when you go to the park, the tickets are pretty cheap, but if you go hungry, and you do, like I do, maybe have a couple of beers and a couple of hot dogs, it gets up there. It's pretty expensive.
Well, there's no question that at a ballpark, people will eat a hot dog and drink a beer. That's fine. This is advertising 4 operating bars and a chef competing with the downtown businesses. It was designed to help stimulate. But here's the problem, Bill. And this ought to appeal to the libertarian view. When the government competes with the private sector, it's fundamentally unfair. The private sector has risk capital, they have exposure for losses, they have the stress of operating businesses, staffing, and whatever. And the government here, it's stress-free. The taxpayers are supporting this whole operation in competition with local businesses.
Other people's money. You think the people, and none of them are dumb, the people who made this lease where they were collecting not quite enough money to pay the power bill, they're not stupid. Would they have made that deal if it was their money?
No.
You got to think, no, I'm not going to make a deal like that.
The argument is, of course, well, the person that's doing it spent a lot of money to get the franchise.
But if you're using your money, you'd say, so what? It's a bad deal for me. I'm negotiating for me. This is my money.
Right. And and we all know the debt. You're going to have C.C. Elebash on, aren't you?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
C.C.
In 2 weeks.
C.C. knows this debt structure.
Dr. Elebash is a professor emeritus at UWF. In other words, he's a retired professor. And he knows a lot about finance, and he knows an awful lot about city finance, and we're going to get into all of these issues. The port, the park, the pensions, everything. All the things that seriously impact. We're not going to talk about Barcia and 12th. Bob wants us to, but He's not going to be here.
Well, I'll
we'll
cover
talk
it when
about
I come
city
back.
finance.
When I come back, we'll cover that.
The cost of the stop signs.
Cost of stop. Well, the cost to all of us. Placing if you wanted to calm everybody in the city down, you'd have a stop sign at every cross section.
Oh, we're back on this. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you brought it up.
That's what I'm apologizing for.
Okay, yeah, because I was ready to leave that subject, but then you cranked it back up again. So, in any event, but the point here is this: the Community Maritime Park Board has to sit down and meet, and they have to say, what is our purpose? If this is truly a park, the government can support a park. The fact is, and we have the brochures, it was supposed to be a soccer field, a baseball field, which would be great, and a football field. Football field would be great for University of West Florida.
Yeah, but it's not a football field. I mean, it's a purpose-built, it's a very nice purpose-built baseball stadium, which is the trend. I mean, these multi-use stadiums are kind of out of favor.
No, Bill, I got the brochure.
I know, it was supposed to be.
The brochure shows this very layout was going to be a multi-use field, soccer, football, and baseball. Is it ideal?
I don't think UWF's going to come down here and play soccer, do you?
I don't know. We could have regional,
I hope so.
We could have regional soccer tournaments. Here's my point. If it's a park, and the government can, to an extent, subsidize it. If it now has to be justified on an economic return basis, you've got to have an understanding, who are we competing with as a government?
Yeah. Because you don't, parks don't make money. You don't build parks to make money. You don't justify it. Somebody has to clean it and mow the lawn and take care of it, and they basically don't bring in any money. The public can go there and have a good time.
It costs $1 million a year to run this park, okay? And they only have projected revenues right now of $300,000, but they have some ticket revenues and some other things that might come in later. So it could get up to $500,000. They still are going to be
losing money.
They're going to be losing money. So the idea is, hey, since we made a bad deal on the lease, or it's a poor deal, I would say, that's just subjective, but, we're going to give the person that we gave the lease to an opportunity to make more money by leasing.
I'm going to ask Dr. Elebash, what about the fact that more people are coming downtown, more traffic? Is that going to help the downtown businesses? I've heard that said. I'm not sure I believe it.
Well, the first question we should ask the downtown businesses are...
how's your business?
How's your business? Are restaurants getting more traffic? Are bars and establishments, sports bars and things, are they getting more traffic? They may be. And if they are, then the downtown business
what's the capacity?
people...
You've got... They announce sellouts. The seats aren't all full, but they sell out a lot. And I think the capacity is like 4,000 people.
Or 5, or whatever
something
it is.
Like that. So that's a lot of people coming downtown.
But if the downtown businesses are deriving substantial benefit night after night after night, that's an argument for the government then to go on with this plan. But if the downtown businesses are saying, just a second, we're experiencing no increase or worse, a decrease, then the point is, are you now, after you've done that, going to go into competition with them?
You know who would know that? Maybe not right this minute. Who? Dr. Rick Harper. Because he looks at all the tax receipts, and he's really good at figuring out how businesses are doing by looking at all this data that's available to him.
Maybe you could ask him before Dr. Elebash comes on.
If I get a chance.
You talk to Dr. Elebash.
We're running out of time. We have promised to make an announcement. I don't know how much you know about the Coffee Party. This has to do with the Coffee Party USA, and the Coffee Party USA, which is a political organization, is running a contest to come up with videos, and there's this is August 15th is the official launch date. We're a little bit ahead of it. Of this contest, it's going to be a YouTube contest. You know it's propaganda when. If you're interested in this, video contest at coffeepartyusa.com. Video contest at coffeepartyusa.com. We have fulfilled this request, and
good. A coffee party.
Coffee party.
Well,
I really didn't know anything about it until I got on their website.
There's a great article in Mad Magazine this month. Did I get your subscription to Mad Magazine?
My subscription lapsed.
Well, I'm so sorry.
I gave Bob a subscription to Reason magazine. He gave me a subscription to Mad magazine. There's a message in there somewhere. I don't know what it is.
Well, I'm so sorry yours lapsed.
That's okay.
The Mad magazine people are a little...
I like magazine.
They're a little slack in some of their operations. But in the recent Mad magazine article, there's a great article comparing the candidates. And it's so cool. It has the same statement that's being made, but then how it's viewed by the opposition. It is so interesting just to look at the contrast that no matter what they say, you know, he's bringing his wife. It's because he's trying to shore up his support. He brings his wife because his wife has been estranged and now she's back together. I mean, it's just one, you know, it's just a split view. So I highly recommend Mad Magazine. I think it has some excellent articles. Yeah. It's certainly not at the Vanity Fair level, but it's quite good. It's quite good. There's a great cartoon in this month's
Mad Magazine is amusing.
This is the cartoon. This is really cool. We have time for this. It shows a little kid with his hands all mangled. This is the first scene. And the second scene, it shows his mother taking him by the arm. And the third scene, it shows the guy that's running the zoo. These are all takeoffs on the zoo. And it shows the guy in the zoo is talking to this guy like this, okay? Then the next scene, it shows the guy taking him over and showing him that the petting zoo sign is in front of the tiger cage. And look at his hands. I don't know why, it just appeals to me, the man. But there's a lot of good stuff in the current Mad Magazine. I highly recommend it. And I'll renew your subscription. I can't believe it. Your prescription for it. I'll get it. I'll do that. All right, so next week, you have who coming next week?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Next week, Jocelyn Evers, who's a PhD, Dr. Evans, is going to come on and talk about, first of all, she's done some terrific work on how terrorism changed architecture. Wow. She's a professor of government. I'm sorry I got your name wrong, Dr. Evans. She's a professor of government here at UWF, and I want to talk about things like, what is populism? What's the history of populism? What's the history of liberal versus conservative? I mean, add a little depth to our admittedly somewhat shallow political mud throwing here.
Well, I'm sorry that I'll miss it. I know it'll be stimulating, but I'll watch it online.
And then 2 weeks, I've got Dr. Elebesh coming up.
Well, that's it for tonight, folks. Thanks very much for joining us Within Reason, Bob and Bill. And Bill will be here next week with an interesting show about how terrorism has impacted all of us. Until next week, we'll see you then.
Good night.